And here's what's on the way. 2 points clear at the top, Derby remain on track for a return to the Premier League after a 7-year absence. Our feature match sees Steve McClaren's Rams take on Fulham at Craven Cottage. As the struggle for championship survival intensifies, 6 of the bottom 7 are in action against each other. We have a full report from a crucial day.
They have become the benchmark for talent production in the Football League. In the week when they beat Arsenal in the FA Youth Cup, we build up to the senior team's League One game with Swindon Town at the famous Crewe Alexandra Academy.
And as ever, we've all the latest news, views and goals from another action-packed Saturday. 7 matches unbeaten and topping the table. It appears to be coming together for Derby County. So how would the Rams get on against a Fulham side flirting dangerously with the drop zone? Your commentator at Craven Cottage is Martin Fisher.
Last time Derby County won a league game at Craven Cottage was in 1969. They went on to win promotion as champions under a certain Brian Clough. Now Steve McClaren looks on course to follow in the great man's footsteps. In sharp contrast, the horror of consecutive relegations raises its ugly head again for Fulham, who start the day just 5 points above the drop zone. Captain Scott Parker was rested for the midweek defeat at Wolves, but returns today. Hugo Rodallega misses out with an ankle injury and is replaced by 20-year-old C.Woodrow. After 7 months out following a knee operation, George Thorne has picked up a thigh problem and is ruled out. In comes Omar Mascarell for Derby. Darren Bent and Tom Ince have scored 12 goals between them since signing on loan in January. Christie being forced back towards his own goal. Keogh has lost out to N.Bodurov. But that might go to Mascarell. What a tackle from Parker. And suddenly things opening up here for Fulham. It's Woodrow trying to set up Christensen. Still there, Christensen. Flying header over the bar from Tunnicliffe. It's the first genuine threat that Fulham have posed. And Tunnicliffe at the heart of it. Good defending from Derby here to prevent Christensen getting his shot on target. Tunnicliffe close to testing Lee Grant. Here's Forsyth for Derby. Given away cheaply by Mascarell. McCormack through the legs of Keogh. Beautiful ball. He's got options to his left. This is Tunnicliffe. Should have hit the target at the very least, Ryan Tunnicliffe. Fabulous ball from R.McCormack. Look how he embarrasses Keogh here. Perfect weight on the pass. And Tunnicliffe really should be doing much, much better with that opportunity. He's never scored for Fulham. And on that evidence, you can see why. Back for Parker. Far side, Staphylidis. It's a decent cross. Shot and forced to turn it behind. He really fired it in there, Staphylidis. Not far from finding the head of Woodrow. Ruiz with this Fulham corner. Can they make it count this time? Headed away by Forsyth, down as far as Tunnicliffe. Blocked by Keogh. Parker feeding Ruiz. Still plenty forward for the home side. Steps easily away from Mascarell. Brian Ruiz. And stabbed in. Bodurov. Nikolai Bodurov with his first ever goal in English football. And it's the black and white supporters of Fulham who cheer the opening goal of the afternoon. Fulham have been asking more questions. Ruiz made Mascarell look foolish there. His shot was charged down. How about that from improvised finish from the Bulgarian Bodurov? Almost a kung fu kick as he volleys it past a helpless Lee Grant. Ruiz kept his nerve. Forward by Staphylidis. Mascarell. Now Hughes. He's lost out to Parker, out-muscled by the former England man who charges forward. McCormack is free. McCormack for Fulham. And it's 2-0. Woodrow got the final touch. It's brilliant counter-attack play from Fulham. Derby undressed and Fulham lead 2-0. No great show of emotion on the face of Kit Symons, but inside he will be purring. Parker just too strong for Hughes, and Derby look vulnerable from here on in. McCormack didn't shoot, and Woodrow flicks it in as Derby were expecting the crack at goal from Fulham's leading scorer. Disguised ball in from McCormack, flicked home by the youngster Woodrow, and Fulham, the strugglers, lead the league leaders by 2-0. Parker. Stapalidis. It's a cross that favours Fulham. It's dropped for Ruiz. Now Woodrow. Kavanagh. Parker. Woodrow. Parker. Parker with a chance. Oh, he's got the ball in! And McCormack denied by Forsyth. Fulham so close to what surely would be a killer third goal. Parker somehow squeezed the ball across. And Forsyth with a very timely and effective block as McCormack tried to screw it home from a tight angle. Keogh has to win it. In goes Bryson. Keogh. It's more like the sort of fight that Derby require. Ince. And he provides some magic. Oh, good stretch from Bettinelli. It was the deflection that the shot took there off Tunnicliffe that caused Bettinelli to have to jump backwards here. It's the first save he's made, and we're in the 69th minute. Just can't pick a pass at the moment, Derby. Unable to go forward, unable to carve open this Fulham rear guard, who are so well drilled. Richards just having a nibble on it. Derby free kick. 19 minutes to go. One goal might be all that it requires to turn the tide in this one. So Tom Ince over the set piece. Buxton and Keogh amongst those in yellow in the box waiting. It's killed deeper than those two. Hendrick's got the header in. And Bettinelli with the save. That's as close as Derby have come today. Jeff Hendrick at the back post, just trying to squeeze it into the tightest of gaps. Hendrick, he's done well, and he's found Ince. He's got space far side in the shape of Forsyth, closed down by Richards, back for Ince to strike! Well, it took a flick on its way through. Referee says it came off a Fulham player, that's why he's given a corner. Had there been nobody in the way here, it might well have brought Derby County a route back into this game. Fearsome pace on it, flicked off the shoulder of Bodurov, who knew nothing about it. Here's Hughes for Derby. It's all so tight through the middle, and that's long and hopeful downfield, and Grant stays at home, and McCormack is in here. So much time. Saved by Grant. Hopelessly exposed there, Derby. Just a ball hoof downfield. Buxton hasn't got the pace to get back. Grant stayed at home. In the end, it's the right decision. But McCormack will be disappointed that he didn't test the goalkeeper more than he did. Dembele is away from Keogh. Here's a chance to wrap it up. He hit the post. That close to 3-0. Still no league goal for Moussa Dembele, but surely now all 3 points for Fulham. Got the better of Grant there, and only the woodwork prevents Fulham from a 3-0 lead.
Overall, we've been playing very, very well. It's just been isolated spells and poor decisions, and some poor defending and not taking our chances. You know, these things have been costing us. But you know, overall, our play has been pretty good. But today we got it all together, and that's what you need to do at any level, really, but especially in this championship.
You don't win football matches performing like that, and you know, Fulham is a dangerous team. you know, I can't believe the position that they're in. Should never be there with the players that they've got, and I think they showed that quality today, and that's what we said. This is a team that can beat anybody in the league on their day. Today was their day. It was a bad day at the office for us. Dust yourselves down and go on Tuesday again.
Well, it certainly was an impressive way for Fulham to get their first win in 9. I suppose anybody looking from the outside, Leroy, they would have thought it was Fulham who were the leaders going to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, I mean, Fulham hadn't won in the last 8 games and Derby unbeaten in the last 7. I was a real concern for Fulham today because I thought Derby would go there and win the game. And it just didn't happen for them. They started off very well, Derby, had possession. But in the final third, they were insipid. They were just pathetic in a lot of ways and didn't have their first shot on target to the 69th minute of the game. And Fulham took full advantage.
Gary, in many ways, that was the kind of performance we expected from Fulham, I suppose, consistently throughout this season from the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Kit will be very pleased with that result because, as he said, they've not been playing bad, and it's just like the lack of goals they've not been taking, or opportunities they've been creating, but they haven't been taking their chances. And that's a wonderful result for them as a bit of a boost, and a boost for Kit because they've been on a bit of a poor run. But that's a very good win against a strong Derby team.
They started well, did Fulham, and they certainly deserved taking the lead. If that wasn't the surprise, Leroy, the surprise was the goal scorer, N.Bodurov.
Yeah, they just had a run of attacks there, and it just fell to Bodurov on his right foot, and he just kind of, as a commentator said, just improvised and produced a really good finish with the outside of his foot. I think if he had to think about it, it wouldn't have been so good, but because it was instinctive, it was a great way to get off the mark. A fantastic first goal.
Yeah, very Di Canio-esque, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it
You
was,
remember
yeah.
the goal he scored for West Ham? Yeah.
I suppose with the second goal, the build-up to it, was it symptomatic of the two sides almost within a second we saw?
Absolutely. I mean, Scott Parker just shrugged Will Hughes off the ball. And it happened throughout the game. Scott really did run that midfield today. And there, you see Will's first touch just lets him down. Scott
Any question of that being a foul?
No, not at all. Will's off balance and he just steps in. Scott uses his strength. You just think he's pushed R.McCormack a little wide, but he produces a lovely little dink into the 6-yard box for Woodrow to win the ball.
That's a player that knows what's going on all around him, isn't it? McCormack there, you know, he's shaped up to shoot, and a great little dink there for that fantastic goal. And he's a clever player, McCormack, and not only does he score goals, but he makes goals, and done great there.
It's interesting you mentioned McCormack. I thought, you know, the 3 experienced players for Fulham all came to the fore, the likes of Scott Parker, Ross McCormack and Brian Ruiz. But for Derby, was there a bit of complacency considering that they put 5 past Fulham in the last 2 meetings?
Well, I'm sure Steve McClaren would have thought about that before the game, and obviously he would have impressed on the boys not to be complacent. But human nature is human nature, and I think Fulham had everything to go for because of their previous results, and Derby maybe, as you say, subconsciously were a little bit below par.
OK, well, let's see how the other sides involved in the promotion race got on, starting with Derby's closest challengers, Middlesbrough. Heitor Karanka's side were at Hillsborough to face Sheffield Wednesday.